evening, sports fans. We've got the Golden State Warriors finally breaking their play-in curse with their first win in a tournament to advance to the NBA playoffs. Plus, the Orlando Magic moving on as well after a dominant play-in victory.
And it's official! Filipina tennis star Alex Ayala is set for her Grand Slam main draw debut.
Man, Alexandra Ayala just making us really, really proud. Keep on going. More on that in just a bit. I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Liton-Calao.
And here's tonight's play-by-play.
Puts it on. On the left side. Oh, the pass! Stuffing another one! Maculas rejecting Esteban for the win.
It turns out fourth time is a charm for the Golden State Warriors after losing all three of their previous play-in games. The Dubs finally claimed their first victory in the tournament, and it got them the 7th seed in the Western Conference playoffs. The Warriors overcoming a late rally by the Memphis Grizzlies here. Here are the highlights for the 121-116 win. Jimmy Buckets, Jimmy Butler, turning into playoff Jimmy right away. Look at that play. Dropping a game-high 38 points to go along with 7 rebounds and 6 assists. Steph Curry also going off for 37 markers, including cold-blooded threes and several clutch free throws. Golden State took a huge 20-point lead early, but Memphis came storming back in the third period. A scary moment here, though, for the Memphis Grizzlies as Ja Morant appeared to hurt his ankle after landing on Buddy Hield's foot there. Well, the high-flying guard did return eventually as the Grizz tried to make that one last push. The two teams exchanged big-time baskets down the stretch, but there's that man right there, Chef Curry, serving up the final dagger by draining a three that put the Dubs up by 6 with a minute to go. Here's Jimmy Buckets talking about his partnership with Curry.
Feels great. I want everybody to be happy. For sure, Steph, he deserves it. What he's done for held the game of basketball, not only this city and this organization. He's in it for the long haul. He wants to win. He wants to win every single game, every single possession. And I know I want to win a championship, so he needs his, this would be number 5 for him, so he needs one more. I think any team has a chance when I'm on the team, but I know that every team has a chance if Steph's on the team. So I get to play Robin. That's my Batman, and I don't know who else is. We got all the villains over there, Two-Face and Joker and Riddler, everybody else in the Western Conference. But we got a lot of games to win.
Must be nice having playoff Jimmy with you. Grizzlies interim head coach Thomas Isalo is choosing to look at the bright side as they now head into battle for the 8th seed in the West playoffs. Isalo says the team's comeback effort against the Dubs could very well become the Grizzlies' rallying point. Desmond Bain shot the ball well en route to a 30-point performance. Rookie center Zach Edey bucked foul trouble to finish with 14 markers and 17 rebounds. Ja Morant played through an injured ankle to finish with 22 points. Despite coming up short against the Dubs, Coach Isalo underscored several positive signs for his crew at the post-game press conference.
Des's shot making is always important, and he's somebody I really like. I watched that situation, the last situation, we really wanted to get the ball in his hands.
What did you make of the way Zach played overall in the game?
I have to see the film, but generally, when I look at it, somehow he always ends up in the plus. He's very important for us. He solidifies the defensive rebound, and we've spoken about this several times, that his impact is also not always the most obvious one.
And what was it like just seeing him trying to play through it in the fourth quarter?
I mean, seeing him in that situation was, to me, I'm of that generation that still remembers Isaiah Thomas hopping around on one ankle. It wasn't quite that. Lifted the guys up, that to see that your leader, is putting it all on the line there.
After that intense matchup, let's take a look at the updated bracket in the Western Conference. The Warriors secure the 7th seed. As you can see, they will now play the number 2 seed in the West, the Houston Rockets, in the first round. That will be an exciting series. Again, the Grizzlies will now play for that 8th seed against the winner of tomorrow's matchup between the Sacramento Kings and the Dallas Mavericks. Now, whoever comes out of that hole gets to play the top-seeded Oklahoma City Thunder. The first round of the playoffs will start on Sunday, Game 1 between the 4th-seeded Denver Nuggets and the 5th-seeded LA Clippers will be at 3:30 in the morning Philippine time. Then the 3rd-seeded LA Lakers and the number 6 seed Minnesota Timberwolves will face off in Game 1 of their series at 8:30 a.m. All game times will be in Philippine time.
The aforementioned Kings are locked in for their play-in battle against the Mavericks. The Beam team went 3-0 against the Mavs for the season, but the thing is, Dallas fielded different sets of players due to injuries during those meetings. Tomorrow, the Kings will face a healthier Mavericks squad anchored by all-star big man Anthony Davis. Even without Kyrie Irving, the Mavs, given their size advantage, should be a formidable challenge for Sacktown. The Kings, though, are ready to answer the call as they did during their bumpy road to the play-ins. In the team's practice interview, DeMar DeRozan and Domantas Sabonis spoke about how prepared they are to face bigger opponents.
It's tough, we haven't got a chance to see, AD. But, at this point, where we at, it can't matter how difficult something is. We just gotta come out, focus on us, and bring the compete level at a high level.
They got a lot of size, obviously, going double big lineups. What challenges do you think that presents, and how you guys could counter that?
Rebounding, we gotta understand. Am I giving a game plan away if I tell you?
I see you.
Let me see. We just gotta play together.
We're ready. We had two good days. Everyone's gonna get their extra shots, get their bodies right. And we'll have another shoot around tomorrow to sharpen up things.
Meantime, the New Orleans Pelicans making moves for their future after falling short of the postseason. They just hired Joe Dumars as their new president of basketball operations. This comes a day after New Orleans fired their lead executive, David Griffin. For the past 3 years, Dumars has been the executive vice president and head of basketball operations for the NBA League office. But before that, the 61-year-old legend and Louisiana native had done a commendable job as a member of the Detroit Pistons top brass. In 2003, Dumars was named Executive of the Year, which was succeeded by the Pistons' 2004 NBA Championship. As a player, Dumars won 2 titles with the same franchise, was part of the Bad Boys era, and was also named the 1989 Finals MVP. We head to the Eastern Conference after we take a really quick break as the Orlando Magic advance to the playoffs as the number 7 seed in the East. More stories when play-by-play returns, only here on One News. Welcome back to Play-by-Play only here on One News. Well, you've got to believe in the Orlando Magic. That's the song, remember that song? Got to believe in magic. Forgive my singing. They just clinched the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs after a blow win over the Atlanta Hawks in the play-in. Final score here, 120-95. The Magic got off to a hot start, then closed things out with a 41-22 fourth quarter to bag the decisive victory. Cole Anthony came off the bench and scored 26 points to lead Orlando's well-balanced scoring attack. Wendell Carter and Paolo Banchero anchored the Magic's front court as they added 19 and 17 respectively. Trae Young tried to lead the Hawks with his game-high 28 points, but Trae Young got ejected with less than 5 minutes to play, picking up his second technical foul for hurling a pass to the referee after making a layup. After the game, Magic head coach Jamal Mosley spoke about his squad's impressive performance and what lies ahead for the team.
That was a big-time just team effort by committee. These guys all stepped up, played their role, did what was asked, followed the game plan. I think our defensive effort, what Coach Osborne has done with these guys in order to help them defend the right way and follow the game plan was absolutely incredible. Because we'd been there before. You know, I think we've been in these situations in the close games at home. Our ability to get the stops and get the runs at the right time was very big for us. But you saw the group come together on the court when they went on the run. I think we had 6-1 fouls in that third quarter. But our ability to not let that rattle us and then dig in on the defensive end and get out and get some easy baskets, now that created the momentum. Our crowd got into it, and that just propelled us.
Andre Felix, sports anchor and singer.
No.
All is not lost for the Hawks, and Trae Young is already fired up for one last chance at making the playoffs. Atlanta is no stranger to play-in success. In 2 of the last 3 seasons, the Hawks have clinched playoff berths by making it out of the tournament. This time, after losing to Orlando, Atlanta will try to advance as the 8th seed as they take on the winner between the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. Here's Ice Trae sounding off on their looming elimination match.
Yeah, I mean, we take away the positive in that third quarter, the way we fought, the way we got into the game, the way we got back into it. I think the aggressiveness that we had and the force we had on the offensive end, like when we caught the ball, we knew what we wanted to do and was very, very decisive on what we wanted to do. So I think that's something that we can take going into the next game and try to do it for 4 quarters. It's definitely, obviously everybody knows that we've been a part of this quite a bit. I think this is going to be now our 6th game and the next one. So I've been a part of these, and I know how now it's win or go home. Obviously tonight we wanted to win and take care of business, but we didn't. But at the same time, we put ourselves in the position to have 2 games to get into the playoffs. I think us being in the A seed, I mean, if this was the old school, we would already be in the playoffs. So I'm glad that they give us an opportunity to go home and get another chance to go into the playoffs. So that's pretty much it. We got another chance, and we put ourselves in this position. And so now we got to take advantage of it.
Now let's take a look at the state of the postseason bracket, this time in the Eastern Conference. Earlier we showed you the West. Let's take a look at the East now. It's going to be interesting as well as the Magic move up to the number 7 seed. And up next, they will play in the first round the defending champions, the Boston Celtics. Again, the Hawks head to the battle for the 8th seed against the winner of tomorrow's game between the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. The team that will advance will then take on the top-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers. Then on Sunday, we've got the start of the playoffs with Game 1 between the number 5 seed in the East, the Milwaukee Bucks, taking on the 4th seeded Indiana Pacers at 1 in the morning. Game 1 between the 6th-seeded Detroit Pistons and the number 3 seed New York Knicks will happen at 6 a.m. Again, all game times are in Philippine time.
Clarity remains the buzzword for the Miami Heat ahead of their play-in game against the Chicago Bulls tomorrow. Bam Adebayo likens the upcoming battle to March Madness, where it's a win-or-go-home type of game. Adebayo says not worrying about their place in the standings helps in getting their heads clearer and preparing themselves for the game. Miami is still looking for its first win against the Bulls this season, and it has to come at the most important part of the year. Tyler Hero says the team has to lean more on guys who have playoff experience. Both Adebayo and Hero also emphasize the need to slow the Bulls' running game down.
Ultimate clarity. You're not looking at the standings no more. You're not trying to see if they lose, if we win. We got to win 2 road games. Punch our ticket. We played them 3 times in the regular season, but it's one of those things where it feels like a March Madness game. You know what's at stake. You know what you got to do. You know, got to go out there and handle business. You got to slow them down. You know, that's a big part of the offense. So, I mean, the biggest thing for us is getting back and making them play in half court on makes and misses.
Anytime you go to the postseason, I think it helps when you got multiple guys who have experience in these situations, which we do. And, you know, I think it's important to lean on that as much as we can going into tomorrow. We're going to play our game. At the end of the day, it's about us, you know, being us to our best ability and then being able to put a game plan together around ourselves to slow them down. You know, obviously getting back in transition, getting bodies on guys so they're not, you know, running free. And, you know, it's going to be a great game for competition, and we're just going to have to go out there and fight for what we want.
Meanwhile, the Milwaukee Bucks will have to make do without All-Star Damian Lillard to start the playoffs. Dame Time continues to rehab from deep vein thrombosis or a blood clot in his right calf, but the Bucks said he has made significant improvement. Dame will continue to increase his on-court activity, but remains out of the lineup. The 9-time All-Star has been sidelined since mid-March due to the blood clot. Strict protocols are still being followed, as the Bucks noted that Lillard's health remains their #1 priority. The Bucks travel to Indianapolis for the first 2 games of the first round against the Pacers.
In other news, Gilas Pilipinas stalwart Kevin Quiambao is taking a step closer to his NBA dream. After a strong rookie season in the Korean Basketball League, Quiambao is set to head to the United States this June to train and chase a spot in the NBA Summer League. The 6'6" forward averaged nearly 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists for the Goyang Sono Skygunners in the KBL. Quiambao reportedly has the full backing of Sono management and Philippine sports patrons as he prepares for this next big step. Quiambao remains under contract with Sono until 2027, and he's also expected to suit up for Gilas Pilipinas at the FIBA Asia Cup in August. The NBA Summer League starts July 10 in Las Vegas. Coming up, one last game day in the PBA before the Holy Week break. Updates from the exciting Wednesday doubleheader in the Philippine Cup when play-by-play returns. back. You're watching Play-by-Play on One News. The Rain or Shine Elasto Painters are on the board in the PBA Philippine Cup. The Elasto Painters banked on a strong start to beat the Northport Batang Pier 113-96. Rain or Shine opened with a 31-17 outburst and never looked back. Gian Mamuyak starred in the victory, putting up 22 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Elasto Painters are now 1-1, bouncing back from their loss to the NLEX Road Warriors. The Batang Pier did play without injured star Arvin Tolentino. They are now also at 1-1, heading into the league's Holy Week break. Meantime, the San Miguel Beermen and Magnolia Hotshots battle it out for an early solo lead in the Philippine Cup. It was a neck-and-neck battle between both squads as the first quarter ended at 18-all. But in the second, veteran guard Chris Ross came alive for San Miguel, scoring 7 points in the quarter. Other Beermen also connected on their triples to build a near double-digit lead over the Hotshots. At the half, it's SMB ahead 45-36. The second half is currently ongoing.
Hope you're having a blessed Holy Week, but before we take a break, we've got day one of the NBA play-in tournament and tonight's highlight reel. Let's roll. Let's start with the Hawks and the Magic. Let's take a look here. Trae Young, look at that. Oh, with a pass fake dropping. Was that Franz Wagner? I think it is. Nice. Look at this against Banquero. And then, what happened to Franz Wagner? Sorry, Franz. And then finding Mo Gay there. Nothing Corey Joseph can do with too big, too strong as Mo Gay. Take a look at that. Again, pass fake by Trae Young in the play-in. Fortunately, they lose this one. Ice Trae, though, trying his best, doing his best with 28 points, 6 assists. Gay, by the way, had 12 markers off his own. Okay, same game, different team. This time, France gets to be redeemed. Take a look at that block against the #1 pick, Zachary Ricochet. Woo, a statement block here by Franz Wagner. Yeah, he dropped earlier, but this time I'm going to reject that shot with power. Woo! Wagner, by the way, finishing with 13 points in this matchup. The German won against the Frenchman. 13 points, as many rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block for Franz Wagner. And again, Orlando beating Atlanta in convincing fashion, 120-95. Magic now advance as the 7th seed in the East playoffs. And their reward, well, they get to face defending champs nga lang, Boston Celtics in round 1. Hawks will next face the winner between the Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls for that #8 seed in the playoffs, and whoever gets the right to face the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, now moving on to the West. Grizz, Dubs, great matchup in San Francisco. Ja Morant, take a look at that. Miss, and then the putback, the athleticism of this guy against an elite defender, Gary Payton II, against another elite defender, Jimmy Butler, but no problem there for Ja. Take a look at that play again. Boom, board, I'll get it, and then I'll put it back in. Woo! Finishing with 22 points, overcoming an apparent ankle injury suffered in the third period. Came back, but the Memphis Grizzlies did not come back in this game. That wasn't enough. In part of the star of our final highlight, I'll give you one guess. Sino pa ba? But this guy right here, Steph Curry against Edie. Nope, fake against Pippen. 2 fakes, nails the 3. There we go, 3-ball down the drain, the bomb. And look at the fans and Draymond Green. They knew that was a dagger right there. A minute to go. Steph up 3, up fake again. Get my shot off. Up 6, less than a minute to play, ball game. Curry, 37 points, 6 threes, by the way. Golden State beats Memphis, 121-116 in this one at home. And finally, after 3 tries, they were 0-3 coming into this game in the play-in tournament. They move now and face the #2 seed, very young and talented Jalen Green of the Houston Rockets in round 1 of the playoffs. That would be a great matchup, Golden State and Houston. Grizzlies are still alive, though, in the play-in. They will next face the 8th seeded, the 8th seed, whoever wins will get the 8th seed, versus the winner between the Sacramento Kings and the Dallas Mavericks. And whoever advances gets the 8th seed and also faces the OKC Thunder in the first round. There you go. Check.
Jimmy.
Wala na siya sa Miami.
Masakit pa rin eh. Before we go, Alex Ayala is officially going to make her highly anticipated debut in the main draw of a Grand Slam. after her impressive run at the Miami Open, which catapulted her into the WTA Top 75. Ayala has secured her spot in the prestigious French Open slated for next month. This marks the first time the 19-year-old will compete directly in the main draw of a Grand Slam as a professional. Ayala, currently world number 72, is listed at number 74 on the Roland Garros entry list. Before heading to France, Alex is sharpening her game on clay, starting with the Oeiras Ladies Open in Portugal. Ayala is fresh off her opening match victory against Anuka Kuvermans. She's also competed in women's doubles, teaming up with Katie Volinets, where they fell short in the round of 16 showdown.
Keep on going, Alex. Congratulations to you. We'll be speaking to you very, very soon, probably after the Holy Week break. But we're still rooting for you, always rooting for Alexandra Ayala. That's all from us tonight and a whole week. And have a great Holy Week break, but you can catch us again on Monday at 8:30 p.m. for a play-by-play of the day's top sports stories.
Play-by-play is on One News, that's Signal TV Channel 8 on SD and Channel 250 on HD. We are also available on Signal Play and Pilipinas Live.
Have a blessed Holy Week, everybody. I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Litoncalao. Thank you for watching. Good night.